careful not to choke on the possibility, Director.
Back in July, you said inflation was going to be temporary. I think a lot of Americans are wondering what your definition of temporary is.
Well, you're being a wise guy with me a little bit, and I understand that's your job. But look, at the time, what happened was let's look at the reasons for the inflation. And the reason for the inflation is the supply chains were cut off, meaning that the products, for example, automobiles, the lack of computer chips to be able to build those automobiles so they could function, they need those computer chips. They were not available. So what happens? With the number of cars were reduced, the new cars reduced, it made up at one point 1/3 the cost of inflation because the price of automobiles are up.
Your commentator is Robert Stevenson. Vesuvius explodes. Italy's historic volcano bursts into the most fearsome and devastating eruption in 70 years. Over the fiery crater, a great pall of smoke and lava dust spirals into the sky, a giant specter of endless grief for the Italian people. Suffering under many years of brutal fascism, then German occupation, then Allied bombing, then the devastation of battle, now it is Vesuvius. At least once in every century of the Christian era, it has hurled disaster. The city of Pompeii was buried when the huge mountain first thundered into volcanic life in the year 79 AD. Thousands of Italians perished. Excavations have revealed their tragic story. This was a pleasure resort of wealthy Romans almost 1,900 years ago. Rising 4,000 feet above the fertile plain of Campania, Vesuvius lazily pours forth a harmless curtain of smoke. Naples, 10 miles from the slumbering peak, lies in comparative safety except for the deluge of volcanic ash that will blanket the city. Then, with a few warning ruffles, Vesuvius belches fire, flame, and molten rock in a fearsome spectacle. Tons of ash and cinders are borne skyward, while fiery lava streams down into the doomed valley. The overflowing crater erupts with a mounting temperature of liquid steel close to the summit which...
You said inflation was going to be temporary. I think a lot of Americans are wondering what your definition of temporary is.
Well, you're being a wise guy with me a little bit, and I understand that's your job.